There are moments that burn themselves into your soul, moments you never expect, yet they redefine everything. Mine came on a rainy night, in a house I never thought I'd set foot in, standing in front of a man who looked at me like I didn't belong there. And maybe I didn't, because when I arrived, he said just one thing: "You won't last the night." He wasn't smiling when he said it, and by the end of that night, he was right, but not for the reason either of us expected. It started with a bet, not between us, but between fate and foolishness. My best friend Mia had begged me to spend a weekend at her family's remote cabin. She claimed it would be a break from my chaotic life, a getaway to clear my mind after the storm of heartbreak I was crawling out of. What she didn't tell me? Her stepbrother Zayden was going to be there too, the man who had made it painfully obvious that he didn't like me. Ever since we met years ago at a summer barbecue, he was the kind of guy who saw straight through people, and he didn't like what he saw in me. Or so I thought. I arrived late. The sun had dipped behind the trees, and rain had started to fall. I walked into the dimly lit cabin, soaked and shivering, only to find Zayden sprawled on the couch with a book in hand and a storm in his eyes. He didn't even look up. "Didn't think you'd actually come." "I said I would." Now he looked up. His gaze was ice and fire all at once. "I give you till morning," he said, tossing the book aside. "You won't last the night here." "And what if I do?" He smirked. "Then I'll apologize. Properly." Challenge accepted, but I didn't know what I had just agreed to. The house creaked with old memories and quiet resentment. We were alone. Mia had gone off to a last-minute work emergency, leaving me with a man I wasn't sure hated me or just enjoyed getting under my skin. Zayden cooked. I cleaned. We didn't talk much until the power went out. I jumped. He laughed. "Scared already?" Number just startled. Mm-hmm. We lit candles and sat at the dining table, the silence between us too loud to ignore. And that's when it began to shift. He poured us both coffee and sat across from me. "I know what people say about me," he said quietly. I blinked. "What?" "That I'm cold, unapproachable, dangerous even." "Are you?" He looked at me then, really looked. I was, until someone I cared about taught me how to be still again. She left, and I promised I'd never let anyone close again. I didn't know what to say, so I listened, and something cracked open between us. It was after midnight when the rain turned to thunder. We sat on the porch, wrapped in old blankets, watching the storm rip across the sky. "You're nothing like I expected," I said without thinking. "And what did you expect?" "Anger, arrogance, someone hard to talk to." "And now?" "Now I don't know what to think." He turned toward me. His voice was low. "Do you know how hard it is to unlearn pain?" "I'm still learning," I whispered. There was a pause, and then he reached out, brushing a raindrop off my cheek. "I was wrong about you." "And I was wrong about you." The moment felt like it might explode between us, but we let it breathe instead. Until he stood, walking back into the cabin. "Come inside. You're not leaving." We played music from an old radio, danced like the world wasn't watching, laughed over old jokes, and at one point we just stood still, breathing, watching each other, the kind of closeness that doesn't ask for permission. "I meant what I said," he whispered as he stepped closer. "You wouldn't last the night." I tilted my head. "Why?" "Because you'd end up changing everything." And before I could ask what he meant, he kissed me. Software slow, certain, like a man who had been waiting years to fall. And I let him, because I was done pretending I didn't feel it too. I didn't sleep that night, not because of fear, but because of everything else. The way he held me, like I was made of something precious. The way we talked about the lives we'd run from, the people who broke us, the versions of ourselves we wanted to reclaim. Morning came too quickly. I stood by the window, watching the sun stretch over the trees, knowing that nothing would ever be the same again. Zayden came up behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist. "So, did you last the night?" he whispered. I smiled, barely. He kissed my shoulder. "But you were right. I didn't just survive it. I lived through something I'll never forget." He turned me around. "Stay." It was one word, but it was everything. That night wasn't about falling in love. It was about letting go, about surrendering to something we both swore we didn't want, until it felt like the only truth we could hold on to. He said I wouldn't last the night, and he was right, because by morning, I was already his, not in the way fairy tales promise, but in the way only a stormy, reckless, beautiful night can claim someone. No parents, no rules, just one night that changed everything.